Join ABF Fam in Apple Podcast to listen to African Folktales with Miss Jojo 1 week early before everyone else.
ABF Creator.
Hello, my little ones. My name is Miss Jojo, and you're listening to African Folktales. Hop inside my magical jeep with me as we explore African lands where animals talk and people fly. Are you ready? Get in! Make sure your seatbelt is on. The only thing we want to let loose is your imagination. Let's set the destination for our next story. Here we go! Hang on! Today, our magic jeep visits a greedy spider who can't make a decision. Make sure to listen closely for the bell. The bell will ring when I say the magic word of the story. Listen all the way to the end to discover if you guessed the magic word right. Anansi the spider's thin belly came from greed. It is said that one year there was a wedding feast in the town of Kibes and another wedding feast in the town of Dayabi, and they were both on the same day. Anansi asked himself, "Which feast shall I go to?" he thought, and then said, "I am very hungry. I will go to both. I will eat first at the place where the food is served first, and afterward I will go to the other place and eat again." But Anansi couldn't find out which of the feast would come first. He went to Dayabi and asked, "When will the food be served?" But they couldn't tell him. So then he went to the town of Kibes and asked, "What time will the food be given out?" But they didn't know. He went back and forth between the two towns until he was tired. But still he knew nothing about where the food would be given out first. So Anansi bought 2 long ropes and called over his sons, Kuma and Chiki. He tied both ropes around his stomach. He gave the end of the rope to Kuma, saying, "Take this end of the rope with you and go to Dayabi. When they start giving out the food, pull hard on the rope and I will come." He gave the end of the other rope to Chiki, saying, "Take this with you to Kibes. When the feast begins, pull hard and I will come. This way I will know where the food is given out first." So Kuma went to Dayabi, taking one end of the rope with him, and Chiki went to Kibes, taking the other end of the rope with him. Each of them stood in the town, waiting to give the signal. But when the feast began in Dayabi and Kibes, they began at the very same moment. Kuma pulled, and Chiki pulled. As they both pulled very hard, Anansi couldn't go one way or another. He was halfway between and he couldn't move. His sons pulled harder and harder, and they didn't stop until the feasts were ended and the food was gone. Then they went to see what had happened to their father. They found him where they had left him, but he didn't look the same. Where the ropes had squeezed him around the stomach, he had become very small. And this way he has always remained. The spider carries with him forever the mark of Anansi's greed. I was wondering why spiders look like that. The moral of this story is one we all need to learn. Because Anansi couldn't pick one feast, he ended up with no feast. When you decide to be greedy, be careful, or the same may happen to you. Did you hear the bell? Did you discover the magic word of the story? If you said greed, you are right. Greed is spelled G-R-E-E-D. Greed is when you want something so bad and don't want to share it with anyone else. Were you ever greedy? Be honest. Thanks for taking this trip with me today. I can't wait for you to travel to the next story with me. African Folktales is produced by ABF Creative. To learn more about the show, go to abfc.co/folktales. If you loved this show, then tell someone you know. Our magical Jeep journeys are more fun when you can bring your friends along. Thanks for listening. Bye!